Good day everyone. Now we'll be tackling about language and power. So language is a fundamental part of our daily lives. Yet we often take it for granted. We usually pay attention to it when something goes wrong or when it sparks passion. This study focuses on how language functions successfully in different contexts, influencing power, representations, and control. So, language is something we use every day without even thinking about it. We only really notice it when there's a misunderstanding or someone says something is powerful or when it strips up strong emotions. And also, the way we use language changes depending on who we are talking to, what we are doing, and what society expects us. So, why we study language? Studying language is crucial because language shapes perceptions. For example, how Edward Snowden was described in the media as whistleblower or a traitor. So, why we study language? Studying language is important because the world we use shape us how we see the world, or just think how people talk about Edward Snowden. Some people call him a whistleblower or traitor, which makes him seem like someone who betrayed his country. This different label influences how people feel about him and toward his actions. So this example shows that language isn't just about communications. It reflects on our belief, opinions, and also about how we interpret world around us. So linguistics is a study of language, and it has different areas that focuses on specific aspect on how we learn, understand the language, and we have 7 subfields. So first we have psycholinguistic. Um, it has how we learn to speak, understand the words, and even how we sometimes make a mistake while talking. So that is psycholinguistic. So next we have the applied linguistic, improving language learning and teaching methods. So applied linguistic focuses on making language learning and teaching better, like improving methods for teaching English and as a second language. Next we have a social linguistic, examining how language use and influence by social factors like age, gender, class, and etc. So social linguistic examine how is shaped by things like age, gender, and social class, while people from different places and backgrounds speak differently. The artificial intelligence creating realistic conversation between humans and computer. It works on making computers to understand and respond like humans in conversations, such as voice assistant like Siri or chatbots like ChatGPT. Yes. And also, we have here the stylistic and forensic linguistic, studying language and literature and legal context. So, stylistic and forensic linguistic study on how language is used in literature and legal matters. For example, forensic linguistic helps analyze written letters or anonymous message in criminals investigations. So that's one of the example of stylistic and forensic linguistic. The anthropology and philosophy, exploring language rules and cultures and meaning making. Anthropology, it explores how language connects to cultures and deep ideas about meanings, like how different societies express their emotions through words. And the last one, we have the sign language, understanding the structure of nonverbal language. Sign language focuses on how people who are deaf or hard of hearing communicate using hand gestures or movements and facial expressions and also body language. So we have Jacobson identified 6 core functions. Emotive expressive function, this is when you talk to express how you feel, like, I'm so happy today. You're showing your emotion through language. Next is referential function. This is all about sharing information, like for example, teaching someone how to bake, or you are simply giving facts or instructions. That is referential functions. Cognitive function this is when you try to influence someone's behavior. For example, this product now is so effective, I promise. So this cognitive function, it's all about pursuing or directing someone to do something. Next, we have the empathic function. This is small talks and the way we maintain social connections. For example, saying hi to a neighbor or a colleague. Next, we have the biotic function. This is when language is used artistically. And the last one is metalingual function. This happens when we talk about language itself. Like, I don't get what you mean by ambiguous. It's basically language explaining language. So we have the language and power. First, we have language and power. It's simply the way we speak can influence how others sees us. We have also language regulations. So language regulations, some countries regulate speech to prevent threats, crimes, and reputational damage. So some countries have laws about what people can and can't say to prevent harm, like threats or defamations. But there is debate about whether everyday things like gossips should also be controlled by law. For instance, in India, there was a joke about making people get a license to spread rumors. And in Fiji, people wasn't sure if gossip was illegal or not. So that is the example of language regulations. So we have next is the ideology and language. Ideologies are systems of belief that are often seen as natural or common sense. Our beliefs shapes how we see the world and how language plays in big role in our for reinforcing them. We have next is the symbolic power. Power in language is often symbolic. A manner's use of language has power to do in their possessions, not physically force. Language over time influence thoughts and behaviors, not just through commands but by shaping people's overview. So, symbolic power thinks about how teachers or boss or even a parent has authority over you, not because they can physically force you to do something, but because their word carry weight due to their rules. So next we have the interpolation. So language positions individuals in relations of power. So for example, certain words and expressions are perceived as taboo due to social norms. Even if you disagree with these norms, you are still influenced by them because of how societal institutions like education or the media perpetuate dominant ideologies. So, interpolation, this is when society calls you into a rule without you even realizing it. Imagine walking down a street and someone yells, "Hey young lady." Even if you don't respond, you've been identified in a certain way, even if you don't personally agree with society's expectation, they still affect you. So we have language as a power tool. The use of correct English or accent can affect people opportunities and employment. Education and housing language signals identified and status. This connection between language and status is ideological, as certain language varieties are associated with privilege while others are marginalized. So, language as a power tool, language is often seized as a power tool because the way people speak can shape how they are perceived the society. For instance, using using what is considered correct English or a specific accent can influence people changes in different areas like getting a job, pursuing educations, or even finding a place to live. This happened because language isn't just a means of communication, it closely tied to identity and social status. So that's all in my report, and God bless. Thank you.